It was not by chance that your eyes found these words. It was not an accident that this message opened before you at this exact moment. While everything around seems to follow the invisible rules of a randomness that never existed. It was not chance, it was resonance. Because true good luck, the kind that endures, that does not wear out with time, is not a matter of chance, nor of luck, nor even of deserving. It is a matter of vibration, of inner state, of memory. You are not here because you long to have luck. You are here because in some forgotten corner of yourself, you know that you were once fortunate, that in a time without time, before fragmentation, before wounds, before doubts, you already knew how to walk through life with a hidden star on your forehead, that at one time good fortune was simply the natural expression of your existence. And though you may have forgotten that certainty, though the world and circumstances may have tried to convince you that you must struggle, ask, or beg for your place under the sun, the truth is that luck was never requested. It was remembered. To remember, not as a mental exercise, not as an idea to be understood, but as a heartbeat to be recognized. True good luck is the inevitable consequence of a frequency that cannot be faked. A frequency that is not achieved with empty affirmations, nor with desperate rituals, nor with pleas to the heavens. A frequency that is not begged for. It is sustained. That is why you are here, because though you may not fully know it, the process of remembering has already begun. Remembering that you do not need to be chosen, that you do not need to be blessed, that you do not need to ask permission. You only need to vibrate as one who already is everything, as one who has already received before asking. And when that vibration settles in you like the sea on a windless day, then the universe, like a perfect mirror, begins to organize itself around you, not out of pity, not as a reward, not out of divine charity, but out of pure resonance. True, luck does not respond to need, it responds to coherence. And that coherence is only born when you stop begging the universe and start reminding it who you are. This audiobook is not a manual for asking better. It is not a recipe for attracting things. It is not a trick for manipulating reality. This audiobook is a mirror that will show you step by step the path back to yourself, to that, you who never cease to be the very source of all luck, of all blessing, of all manifestation. Prepare yourself, because this path is not for those seeking quick formulas. It is for those ready to remember, for those ready to be. Begin now. You will not need faith, only presence. You will not need to repeat, only to vibrate. You will not need to beg, only to be the channel. Because the mystery of good luck is not outside. It is beating within you, in a language that needs no words, in a music you can only hear if you dare to be silent. A silence that is not absence, a silence that is the origin of everything. Here begins the journey back to the forgotten identity, back to the throne that was never taken from you but that you left vacant when you believed you had to earn. Back to the place where good luck is not requested, it is walked. Back to the place where good luck is not achieved, it is emitted. Back to the place where good luck is not a miraculous exception, but the natural norm of the being who remembers. Welcome to the mystery of good luck. Welcome to yourself. There is a moment when the soul, without knowing how, without understanding why, simply knows. Knows that it no longer needs to run. Knows that it no longer needs to search outside for what has always been beating within. Knows that true good luck is not chased like elusive butterflies, but sustained, like one who carries a secret fire in their chest. That moment is so subtle that many let it pass. Others feel it as a mere sigh. But some, those who dare to listen to that silent call, begin to walk differently, begin to exist differently. There are no rituals for that awakening, no specific techniques, no magic words. Just a silent recognition. You already were what you were seeking. Good luck is like the reflection in a mirror. You cannot deceive it. You cannot beg it. You cannot manipulate it. You can only be what you wish to see. When the soul aligns with this certainty, everything changes. Not necessarily outside at first, but within. Because true luck, the kind that seems miraculous, impossible, is not a whimsical gift from the universe, nor a roll of dice by distracted gods. It is an exact response to your sustained frequency. When you vibrate as abundance, abundance recognizes you. When you vibrate as favor, favor pursues you. When you vibrate as certainty, paths open on their own. Not because you convinced life to give you something, but because you remembered to be the kind of being to whom life can no longer say no. Most people spend their entire existence trying to deserve, trying to prove their worth, trying to beg a blind fate. But those who walk with natural good luck do not deserve, do not prove, do not beg. They simply are. They are the silent cause that organizes the world around them. They are the heartbeat that precedes every miracle. They are the vibration that life recognizes as its own voice. Have you ever seen those people who always seem to be in the right place at the right time, finding opportunities where others see only obstacles? Have you ever felt that there are beings who don't even have to try so hard, and yet everything falls into place for them? It is not chance, it is not injustice, it is not cosmic favoritism, it is frequency, it is vibration, it is remembered identity. They do not seek the miracle, they are the miracle. They do not beg life, they organize it from within. They do not wait for the universe to reward them. They are the frequency that the universe can no longer ignore, and you can be one of them. In fact, on some deep level, you already are one of them. You just forgot. You forgot because they taught you that you had to fight for everything. You forgot because they convinced you that everything is earned through brutal effort. You forgot because they made you believe that life is a battlefield where the strongest crush the weakest. But good luck does not respond to physical strength. It does not respond to the amount of effort. It does not respond to the intensity of your desire. It responds to your being. It responds to your vibrational level. It responds to your coherence. And the good news is this: you do not have to become someone new. You only have to remember who you were before the forgetting. It is not about building. It is about unearthing. It is not about manufacturing vibration. It is about stopping the emission of interference. The perfect vibration is already in tour. The flow of good luck already runs within you like a river beneath the earth. You only need to remove the fear, the anxiety, the doubt, the disordered effort, and let that natural current emerge again. Just as the sun does not have to fight to shine, just as the sea does not have to ask permission to move, so too will you remember that good luck is not a prize. It is your natural state when you return to being one with your origin. And that origin is simple: presence, silence, coherence. When you walk, walk as one who has already been chosen. When you speak, speak as one who is already heard. When you think, think as one who has already received. Not from arrogance, not from an inflated ego, but from the unshakable peace of one who knows that everything that is theirs has already been written in the vibrational field. There is no struggle in that. There is no anxiety in that. There is no effort in that. Only a rhythm, a heartbeat, a vibration that says, I am the channel, I am the chosen one, I am good luck. And from that state, life, the universe, matter, itself have no choice but to bend in your favor. Not out of blind obedience, not out of magic, but because the external can only reflect the internal. So start remembering, you do not need to know how the blessing will come. You do not need to trace the exact path. You only need to sustain the being. And when you sustain it without haste, without pressure, without anxious expectations, you We'll see how good luck becomes your second skin. It will not be an extraordinary event. It will be your new natural state. And then, the mystery of good luck will no longer be a mystery to you. It will be your daily life. There is an invisible threshold that separates those who beg for luck from those who radiate it without asking. A threshold that is not crossed with external actions but with a single internal transformation. The shift from need to identity. Because as long as you need good luck, you will be vibrating as one who does not have it. As long as you chase it, you will emit the frequency of one who believes they are empty. As long as you ask for it, the universe will only see you as an echo of lack. But when you become it, when your very existence is proof that you lack nothing, then good luck ceases to be something you seek and becomes something you are. How does this change happen? Not with decrees, not with techniques, not with forced visualizations. It happens with a gesture that is both the simplest and the most powerful. Letting go of trying. Letting go of trying to convince. Letting go of trying to force. Letting go of trying to manipulate. Not because you give up, but because you remember. You remember that everything you want to attract already exists in you in vibrational form. You remember that it is not about deserving it. You remember that you do not have to accumulate merits or prove your worth before a cosmic tribunal. You only have to allow the original frequency that you were, that you are, that you will always be, to emanate without obstacles. And that happens when you let go, when you stop resisting the natural flow, when you stop needing external confirmation, when you stop acting like someone incomplete. Because good luck, the kind that seems magical, responds to a vibration of fullness, not of lack, not of waiting, not of supplication. Those seen as fortunate do not live asking for things to go well. They live emitting the silent certainty that everything is already well, even before seeing the results. And the universe, which cannot be deceived, responds to that coherence with absolute precision. That is how things work. That is how they have always worked. We forgot because we were raised in blind effort, in constant struggle, in eternal waiting. They told us that life was hard, that every smile from fate had to be earned, that every ray of sunshine had to be begged for. But the ancient wise ones, those who left their teachings hidden in forgotten codices and forbidden songs, knew something else. The universe does not reward the one who suffers the most. It reflects the one who vibrates the most. And that vibration does not depend on what you think, nor on what you say, nor even on what you want. It depends on what you are. When your deep being remembers its fullness, when you inhabit every second as one who lacks nothing, good luck cannot help but come to you. It is a matter of vibrational geometry, a matter of law, a matter of perfect resonance. There are no favoritisms, no exceptions, no chance, only coherence or interference. And the question is, from where are you vibrating? From anxiety, from fear, from lack, from need, or finally from certainty, from presence, from the silent knowing that everything is already contained within you? That is the true alchemy. That is the transmutation that turns the lead of anxiety into the gold of manifestation. You do not have to change the world. You Jishu only have to remember your purest vibration. You only have to sustain it with the same serenity with which the sky holds the stars, without effort, without haste, without urgency. When you achieve this, when your vibration is so constant that it no longer depends on external results, then the true miracle happens. The world begins to bend in your favor. Not as a favor, not as a prize, but as an inevitable consequence. True good luck, the kind that others view with awe or envy, is nothing more than the natural manifestation of one who no longer emits interference. It is not about convincing life to give you something. It is about becoming someone who, by their vibration, cannot be denied. And that, though it sounds extraordinary, is not a privilege of a few. It is your nature. It is your right. It is your oldest memory. Returning to that state is the silent work that transforms everything. It is not a work of external action. It is a work of internal polishing, like the sculptor who frees the figure hidden in the marble. So too, you free the being who was already. Fortune before life tried to convince you that you were need. And in that being, in that memory, in that frequency, good luck becomes not only inevitable but eternal. It does not matter the country. It does not matter the economy. It does not matter the time. Because the vibrational field is sovereign. Because external life can only reflect internal life. So now, right now, close your eyes. Not to ask, not to decree, but to remember. Remember who you were before they broke you, before they taught you to wait from fear, before you learned to vibrate from lack. Remember the vibration of the complete being, of the being who does not need to fight, of the being who already is. And from that place, walk, speak, breathe, and good luck, like a river called by its original course, will come to you, not as a miracle, not as an accident, but as the inevitable reflection of one who has remembered their true frequency. The universe does not reward those who strive the most. It does not reward those who desire the most. It does not reward those who pray the most. It reflects. It reflects without error. It reflects without judgment. It reflects without delay. Though the human mind, trapped in its need for control, may perceive it as such, the universe is a perfect vibrational mirror, and in that mirror, only what is already being emitted can appear. Good luck does not come because you do something special. It does not come because you say the right words or think positively all day. Good luck, the kind that seems illegal, that seems magical, that others look at with awe and suspicion, only comes in one way: when you become the kind of frequency that cannot be ignored. This is the truth that most do not want to hear, because it is a truth that demands radical honesty, that demands looking inward without excuses, that demands recognizing that it is not the world blocking your luck. It is you. Not because you are bad, not because you are not enough, not because the universe is against you, but because you have vibrated from doubt, you have vibrated from fear, you have vibrated from urgency, and the universe, obedient, could only return to you different versions of that same frequency. But now that you are awakening, now that these words resonate in the oldest part of you, you can no longer play blind. You can no longer go back to sleep. Now you know that good luck is not earned. It is remembered. And remembering is letting go of the victim pattern, letting go of desperate effort, letting go of the illusion that something external will come to save you. You are not here to be saved. You are here to reign, to be the unmoving axis though the world spins, to be the center from which life organizes its blessings, to be the anchor point of a luck that does not depend on external conditions, and that, though you may forget it at times, is already within you. Every cell in your body knows how to vibrate in coherence. Every fiber of your being longs to return to that state of perfect unity. You do not have to learn it. You have to allow it. And allowing it begins now. Begins every time you choose certainty over doubt. Every time you choose trust over fear. Every time you choose to act as one who already has, already is, already belongs. The old world taught you that you had to do much to deserve little, that you had to sacrifice yourself to receive crumbs, that you had to wait an eternity to reap a glimmer of luck. But that is not the real law. That is the illusion of a sleeping world. The real law is another. The one who vibrates from fullness cannot be ignored. The one who vibrates from certainty cannot be rejected. The one who vibrates from coherence cannot be forgotten. And that vibration is not a task. It is not a penance. It is a return, a surrender to your true nature. And how do you vibrate like that? How do you sustain that frequency when everything outside seems to invite you to fear, to haste, to senseless effort? The answer is simpler than you think. It is chosen every moment. It is chosen in the way you walk. It is chosen in the way you breathe. It is chosen in the way you speak to yourself, not as an act of theater, not as a strategy, but as an act of internal fidelity. Every time you sustain yourself in certainty, though nothing yet confirms it outside, you are rewriting your vibrational field. You are sending a signal to the universe that cannot be ignored. It is not about pretending everything is fine. It is about knowing. Knowing deeply, knowing without proof that everything has already been granted. Because linear time is an illusion. Because at the level where the vibrational law operates, the result already exists. It has already been given. It is already waiting for your alignment. It is not that you must fight to achieve good luck. It is that you must remember that good luck is already reaching you every time you vibrate, as one who does not doubt their place in the universe. And that vibration does not require words. It does not require demonstrations. It only requires presence, only requires that you inhabit your life as one who is already sustained, as one who has already been blessed before asking, as one who has already received the signal before their mind could even formulate the question. That is the mystery. That is the secret that cannot be taught, only remembered. And you are remembering it now. You feel it in your chest. You sense it in your gut. You know it in your bones. Something in you no longer wants to return to the old struggle. Something in you can no longer keep vibrating from urgency. Something in you is claiming its place as a natural channel of good luck. And that claim is not a shout. It is not a demand. It is a firm whisper, an ancient pulse, a drum, beating beneath the skin. A vibration that says, I am ready to be who I have always been. Not to pretend it, not to force it, but to inhabit it. And when you inhabit that identity, even for a moment, you will see that life responds immediately. Paths will open. The right people will appear. Opportunities will sprout like spring when winter surrenders. Not because you asked, but because you remembered. Remembered your center. Remembered your frequency. Remembered that there was never chance, only forgetting. And now, there is memory. The good luck you seek is not something you will conquer. It is something already beating within you. And the more you sustain that beat, the more natural it will be to see miracles walking by your side. Not because you are special, not because you are different, but because you are coherent. Coherent with who you always were at the deepest level. Coherent with the vibration of one who knows that life can do nothing but reflect their own being. So keep walking, not to search, not to chase. Keep walking as one who has already found, as one who already is, as one who already vibrates. And then the entire universe in its infinite vibrational obedience will bow before you, not as a subject, not as a servant, but as a mirror. A mirror that finally reflects the being who remembers that there was never chance, only resonance. And now that resonance is yours again. There is an instant when everything aligns, an instant that is not measured in minutes or seconds, an instant that does not depend on the world's clocks or calendars or external circumstances, an instant that happens in a place that cannot be seen with the eyes or touched with the hands, but that forever changes the invisible architecture of your life. That instant is called vibrational decision, and it is the most powerful decision you can make. It is the moment when you stop waiting for luck to arrive, stop demanding signs, stop living as one who believes they still lack something, and simply assume that luck is already yours. Assume that life has already chosen you. Assume that there is no real distance between you and everything you desire. Not because you are arrogant, not because you are naive, but because, deep down, you recognize that there was never separation. Separation is a myth, a collective illusion, a shared nightmare of those who forgot their origin. but you are awakening. And awakening always hurts a little at first, like muscles waking after a long sleep, like eyes adjusting to light after too much darkness. Awakening demands courage, courage to look within, courage to let go of old narratives, courage to stop being a victim even when it would be easier to blame fate. Because blaming is comfortable, blaming absolves you of responsibility, blaming allows you to say, I'm not lucky because the world is unfair. I'm not lucky because I was born in the wrong place. I'm not lucky because I don't have the opportunities others have. But blaming binds you. Blaming perpetuates the frequency of lack. Blaming prevents your true power from emerging. The true transformation begins when you stop asking, why me? And start asking, from where am I vibrating? That is the question that changes everything, that tears the veil of illusion, that initiates the return. Because when you recognize that your vibration creates your experience, you can no longer keep waiting for miracles to come from outside. You become the miracle. When you recognize that the universe has no favorites, only mirrors, you stop begging. You start emitting. And when you emit from fullness, from certainty, from remembered identity, good luck becomes as natural as breathing. You don't have to seek it, it finds you. You don't have to chase it, it walks with you. You don't have to manipulate it. It unfolds before you like a river that has always known your name. And then everything changes. Obstacles dissolve, opportunities sprout, doors that seemed locked open on their own, as if they had been waiting for you all along, because in truth they were. Everything you desire already exists in a frequency where you are already the one who receives. The only distance between you and that reality is the vibrational distance you sustain. And that distance is not shortened with effort. It is shortened with identity. It is not about doing more. It is about being different. Not acting like someone who hopes to be lucky, but inhabiting the body, mind, and heart of someone who already. And you don't need to fake it. You don't need to force it. You only need to remember it. Remember it in the way you rise in the morning. Remember it in the way you talk to yourself when no one is listening. Remember it in the way you make every decision, small or large. Am I vibrating as one who lacks or as one who already possesses? Am I walking as one who fears or as one who has already been blessed? Am I breathing as one who despairs or as one who knows their frequency organizes the world? Every moment is an opportunity to choose again. Every breath is a door to return to the right vibration. Every thought is a tool that can strengthen or weaken your coherence. And here is the secret few understand. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to be persistent. Coherence is not perfection. Coherence is decision. Decision to return again and again to your center, even when fear tries to drag you away. Decision to remember again and again your true state, even when the world offers 1,000 reasons to forget. Good luck does not come to those who never doubt. It comes to those who, even doubting, choose to sustain their highest vibration. So don't fear if you falter at times. Don't punish yourself if you forget at times. Don't blame yourself if you feel you've regressed. It's all part of the journey. It's all part of the reminder. Every time you return to your original vibration, it becomes easier. Every time you choose certainty in the midst of the storm, your frequency beats stronger. Every time you walk as one who has already been blessed, the world reorganizes faster. To reflect your true identity. It is not a path of struggle. It is a path of return. Return to you. Return to the being who does not need to ask because they already emit. Return to the being who does not wait for luck because they are luck. And the more you sustain that vibration, the more you inhabit that state, the more natural miracles you will begin to live. Miracles that others will call luck, but you will know the truth. You will know it was not chance. You will know it was not coincidence. It was vibration. It was identity. It was coherence. It was your field organizing reality as an inevitable echo of your presence. So keep choosing, keep vibrating as one who already is. Keep remembering that you were never separate from good luck. Keep walking as one who already has everything they need, and you will see how the entire universe conspires, not to give you what you desire, but to confirm what you already are. Because that is the final mystery. Good luck does not arrive. Good luck is you remembering that you never stopped being the universe's favorite child. There is a language that uses no words, a tongue that needs no sounds, no grammar, no translations, a language older than any civilization, deeper than any sacred book, more universal than any religion. That language is vibration. Everything. In the universe, absolutely everything responds to this language. Not to your words, not to your promises, not to your declared intentions, but to your sustained vibration. Your vibrational field is the true author of your life, not your logical mind, not your strategic plans, not your desperate efforts. It is the silent vibration, the one beating beneath what you say, think, or do, that organizes, summons, repels, or attracts the circumstances that shape your experience. And herein lies the most hidden mystery about good luck. It is not something that happens. It is something that is emitted. When your vibration is coherent with favor, favor arrives. When your vibration is coherent with abundance, abundance flourishes. When your vibration is coherent with fullness, fullness manifests in every corner of your existence, not because you are doing something special, but because you have stopped doing something that was blocking your luck, vibrating from need. Need is the echo of lack. Need is the vibrational signal of one who has not yet remembered their completeness. Need is a cry that the universe hears, not as a plea for help, but as an order to keep sending you more reasons to need. So impeccable is the vibrational law. So radical is the mirror the universe holds before your soul. No matter how much you desire something, if you vibrate as one who does not have it, no matter how many prayers you utter, if you emit desperation, matter does not respond to your words. It responds to your being. That is why the wise of all authentic traditions taught time and again, in different ways but essentially the same truth. Be before you see, vibrate before you receive, become before you obtain. Good luck does not respond to desire. It responds to vibrational identity. And vibrational identity is not something created with affirmations. It is something remembered by letting go of everything you are not. Every time you release the anxiety of wanting to control, your vibration rises. Every time you release the need for something to happen to feel good, your field clears. Every time you release the urgency to change your life to prove your worth, the universe can finally approach you with everything it had already prepared. But as long as you try to manipulate results, you will vibrate from fear. As long as you believe you need something external to feel complete, you will emit fragmentation, and fragmentation cannot attract fullness, ever. Just as a dissonant chord cannot produce a harmonious melody, a broken vibration cannot summon complete blessings. It is not a punishment, it is not a judgment, it is pure vibrational law. Vibration always organizes form, never the other way around. So if you want to change your luck, if you want your life to be filled with those silent blessings that seem so perfect they're almost illegal, you don't have to work harder. You don't have to ask with more force. You don't have to study hidden strategies. You have to become. Become the frequency you wish to live. Become the channel that no longer waits for signs. Become the living evidence that true luck is not sought. It is remembered. And that begins always with a single decision: to inhabit certainty, even though the external world has not yet reflected it. Inhabit the certainty that you are already worthy. Inhabit the certainty that you have already been chosen. Inhabit the certainty that the universe cannot ignore one who emits from fullness, not as an act of blind faith, but as an act of deep, Memory. Because in some part of your soul, you already know that everything you desire, everything you long for, everything you imagine, is already vibrating in a frequency where you are already the one who possesses it. And it is not about creating that frequency. It is about aligning with it, about stopping being a saboteur of your own field, about ceasing to sow emotional interferences every time things seem not to move at your pace. The universe does not respond to human time. It responds to the quality of your frequency. And that quality is perfected not when you insist harder, but when you trust deeper. Good luck, the kind that seems scandalous to the eyes of those still trapped in the logic of sacrifice, only responds to those who have understood that the true work is not outside, it is inside. The work of remembering, the work of sustaining, the work of letting go of the fear of not being enough. And the more you sustain that coherence, the more you become the vibration you desire, the faster, the more abundant, the more natural your luck will become, not as a sporadic event, not as an isolated stroke of luck, but as your new way of being. A being that does not ask, a being that does not beg, a being that does not plead, a being that emits. And one who emits from totality cannot receive less than totality. One who vibrates from abundance cannot attract less than abundance. One who walks as one who is already fortunate organizes realities around them that confirm their vibration, not because they earned it, not because they made merits, not because they met conditions, but because the universe, in its absolute perfection, can only reflect what is already being sustained. So stop waiting for the miracle. Be the miracle. Stop seeking favor. Be the favor. Stop waiting to be chosen. Be the frequency that cannot be ignored. And everything you have always longed for, everything that seemed impossible, everything that others called luck, will become your daily landscape, not by magic, not by exception, but by law, by resonance, by identity. So simple, so inevitable, so powerful. You are not an accident. You were not thrown into this world by mistake. You were not born to merely survive, to fight eternally for crumbs, to wait for life to smile upon you someday in an act of pity. You were born as a perfect manifestation of an unrepeatable frequency, a vibration without replica, a unique note in the universe's symphony. And in that original note, in that secret melody that is you, all the good luck you would ever need was already contained. But you forgot. You forgot because they taught you that you had to earn love. You forgot because they convinced you that you were small. You forgot because fear, disguised as prudence, infiltrated your cells. And every time you forgot your origin, every time you believed you needed something external to be complete, your vibration fragmented. And every fragment added noise to your field. Every doubt created an interference. Every fear wove an invisible barrier. It's not that luck abandoned you. It's that your field stopped emitting the pure signal that naturally attracted it. But now that you read these words, now that you feel the echo of this truth in the deepest part of you, something is awakening. You don't need to learn to be fortunate. You only need to unlearn everything that made you believe you weren't. Unlearn the futile effort. Unlearn the need to prove your worth. Unlearn the blind faith in suffering as the obligatory path. True good luck does not respond to sacrifice. It does not respond to drama. It does not respond to pain. It responds to internal unity, to the state in which thought, emotion, and action vibrate at the same frequency. When you stop fragmenting, when you stop being a sea of doubts disguised as good intentions, when you stop asking and start being, then luck doesn't arrive. It appears. It appears because it was never outside you. It appears because you, by clearing your field, by dispelling your interferences, allow the current to flow again. There are no hidden secrets, no esoteric techniques known only to a chosen few. The true magic lies in coherence. when you walk as one who has already received, when you speak as one who already possesses, when you breathe as one who already belongs, not from arrogance, not from fantasy, but from memory, the memory of the being who is always complete. And in that memory, in that vibration, life has no choice but to reflect your integrity. Not because you ask it, not because you convince it, not because you manipulate it, but because you emit a frequency that organizes matter around it, so simple, so inevitable. And what happens when you start vibrating like this? First, you will feel a peace that does not depend on results, a calm that cannot be disturbed by external circumstances. Then you will see small miracles, small synchronicities, small signs, that the universe is responding to your new frequency. And if you persist, if you sustain that coherence even when it seems nothing is changing, then the small miracles will become gigantic blessings. Because the universe needs time only in the plane where you still vibrate fragmented. But when your vibration is sustained, when your field stabilizes, time collapses, and what seemed distant, improbable, or impossible rushes toward you with a speed that astonishes. Not because you did more, not because you fought more, but because you vibrated cleaner, higher, more coherently. That is how the invisible laws governing all reality work. They don't teach it in schools. They don't preach it in temples. They don't write it in popular books. Because one who remembers this becomes free. Free from fear. Free from manipulation. Free from the vibrational slavery that keeps so many trapped in small lives. And a free being cannot be controlled, cannot be subdued, cannot be reduced. That is why this knowledge was always hidden in symbols, why it was always transmitted in whispers, in songs, in coded stories. But now, you are remembering. You are remembering that your good luck does not depend on the stars, nor on karma, nor on divine compassion. Your good luck depends on your being, on how much you allow your original being to emit its frequency without sabotage, on how much you sustain your coherence despite external noise, on how much you choose to remember in every gesture, in every thought, in every step. And remembering is not a mental act. It is not repeating pretty phrases. Remembering is living as one who already knows they are the chosen channel of all blessing. So now in this instant, pause. Be silent. Ask yourself, from where am I living? From the fear of not receiving or from the certainty that I am already the bearer of all good? And if you discover that you still vibrate at times from lack, don't punish yourself. Don't judge yourself. Simply choose again. Again and again, 1,000 times if necessary. Each time faster. Each time with more love. Because every time you choose to return to your original vibration, every time you release need and embrace certainty, your field strengthens, your signal becomes cleaner, your resonance becomes more powerful, and the universe, which does not respond to those who beg but to those who vibrate, will bow in your favor, like a mirror that cannot help but reflect your remembered magnificence. Because you are not an accident, you are not a mistake, you are not a victim. You are the conscious manifestation of a vibration the universe has always been waiting for. And now, you are finally returning to your place, the place where good luck is not begged for, it is breathed, it is walked, it is inhabited. So natural, so inevitable, so perfect. Imagine for a moment that there is no possibility of error. Imagine that everything you have lived, everything you have gone through, even the moments of falling, of loss, of emptiness, were not punishments, were not tests, were not failures. They were reminders. They were echoes of a truth you could no longer ignore. They were silent nudges from the universe, not to destroy you but to awaken you. Every apparent loss was an invisible pruning to strengthen your roots. Every apparent obstacle was a vibrational instruction to refine your field. Every apparent failure was a course correction toward a greater alignment. Nothing you lived was truly against you. Nothing was chance, nothing was punishment. It was all part of the sacred design of your awakening. And now that you are reading these words, now that you are feeling this ancient pulse vibrate within you, you can see it. You can recognize that good luck does not depend on having lived a perfect life, does not depend on never having made mistakes, does not depend on never having suffered. It depends on where you choose to vibrate now. This instant is the only one that exists. This heartbeat is the only real portal. This present moment is the only laboratory where your destiny is forged. And in this instant, you can choose. You can choose to leave behind the vibration of fear. You can choose to release the frequency of guilt. You can choose to surrender, not as one who gives up, but as one who drops the useless weapons of struggle and raises their arms in the certainty that they have already been chosen. Good luck is not a prize for those who never doubted. It is an echo for those who, even doubting, chose to return to deep faith, not blind faith in the external, but radical faith in their own vibrational identity. Every time you choose trust over control, your field organizes. Every time you choose gratitude over complaint, your frequency rises. Every time you choose certainty over need, your path clears. And then, as if the entire universe had been waiting for your decision, silent miracles begin to sprout. The right person calls. The unexpected opportunity appears. The perfect solution reveals itself. Not because you manipulated life, not because you knew the secret trick, but because you became who you were always meant to be. The universe does not need instructions. It does not need your pleas. It does not need your strategies. It only needs your clean vibration, your coherent being, your faithful heartbeat. When you vibrate from the core, the universe responds immediately. Because the universe does not understand your words, it understands your being. And your being, when it remembers its original frequency, when it stops fragmenting into contradictory desires, emits a signal so pure, so strong, so clear, that matter itself bends in its favor. That is how things work. That is how they have always worked. They hid it from us, or worse, they convinced us that life was a battlefield, a cosmic lottery, a capricious roulette. But now you know. Now you remember. You are not here to fight for your place. You are not here to compete for crumbs. You are not here to wait for luck to someday glance your way. You are here to be the center of your own good luck, to vibrate as one who has already been blessed before asking, to walk as one who is already the heir of all abundance. And that, though you may forget it from time to time, though life may sometimes push you toward the old frequency of fear, can no longer be taken from you, because a soul that remembers its original vibration, though it may fall, though it may doubt, though it may stumble, always returns home. Always. Every step you take from now on will not be a step toward something. It will be a step from something, from fullness, from certainty, from memory. And the more you walk from there, the less you will need to force, the less you will need to control, the less you will need to resist. Because everything you ever desired, everything your soul longed for, everything that seemed impossible under the old logic of sacrifice, is already vibrating close to you. It only waits for you to tune in. It only waits for you to remember. It only waits for you to stop sabotaging your own signal. So breathe. Breathe as one who has already received. Walk as one who already possesses. Speak as one who already belongs. Not by deception, not by theater, but because you know that your vibration is the language that organizes the world. Every thought, every emotion, every gesture is a note in the symphony you are writing. And that symphony can be of lack or of abundance. It can be of struggle or of flow. It can be of need or of certainty. You choose, you conduct, you vibrate. And the universe, as the most perfect of mirrors, as the most faithful of servants, simply responds. That is how it has been. That is how it is. That is how it will be. Because true luck the kind that seems so perfect it's almost illegal, is not a divine concession. It is a vibrational consequence. And you already know it, you already feel it, you already carry it. Now all that remains is to sustain it. True luck is not a stroke of chance, not a whim of fate, not a prize reserved for a few mysterious chosen ones. True luck is the inevitable reflection of a coherent vibrational identity. It does not matter how much you struggled in the past. It does not matter how many times you were told you had to earn life's favor. It does not matter how many failures you've collected along the way. Everything can change the moment you decide, radically and silently, to become the frequency of your destiny. Without explanations, without justifications, without needing approval. The one who remembers who they are no longer asks the world for permission to flourish, no longer needs signs to move forward, no longer begs for luck like a child pleading for a crumb of attention. The one who remembers who they are walks as one who knows that everything necessary is already on its way. Not because they have proof, not because there are visible guarantees, but because their vibration is the guarantee. That kind of certainty, that remembered, not blind faith, is the secret seed of authentic good luck. And the one who cultivates it within themselves cannot be ignored by the universe, no matter how hostile the environment seems, no matter how improbable the outcome appears, no matter how long the night has been. The coherent vibration pierces through all layers of reality, all apparent barriers, all veils of time. Because vibration does not negotiate with matter, it directs it. Vibration does not beg circumstances, it organizes them. Vibration does not react to the world, it creates it. So simple, so radical, so true. And you are remembering it now. Not because these words have some special power, not because this book is magical, but because something in you, something very ancient, very deep, very real, is awakening. A forgotten pulse, an original heartbeat, the memory of who you were. Before fear, the memory of who you were before blind effort, the memory of who you were before you learned to vibrate from lack, that you does not need luck, that you is luck, that you does not wait for miracles, that you walks as a miracle, that you does not seek signs, that you is the sign. And the more you allow that you to take the lead, the more you release the old fragmented self that begs for favors from the universe, the more natural it will be for you to live in a state of grace. Not a grace granted from outside, not a grace conditioned by merits, not a grace reserved for unattainable saints, but a grace that arises from the simple fact of inhabiting your original frequency, of sustaining it, of expanding it. And that expansion does not require effort. It requires presence. Presence in every breath, presence in every step, presence in every choice, no matter how small it seems. Because every choice is a vibrational declaration. Every thought is an antenna emitting a frequency. Every emotion is a magnet organizing your field. Every word you speak is a silent command to the universe. You don't need to become perfect. You don't need to control every micro gesture of your life. You only need one thing: vibrational persistence. Persist in remembering who you are, even when the world invites you to forget. Persist in emitting coherence even when external circumstances don't yet reflect your new vibration. Persist in walking as the heir of all blessing, even when evidence tempts you to return to the old victim pattern. The vibrational victory is not for those who never doubt. It is for those who, even doubting, choose to return to their center again and again. Return, return, return. Without fatigue, without reproach, without drama. Return as one who knows that every return strengthens their signal. Every return polishes their field. Every return brings closer the inevitable manifestation of the life that was already written in their original frequency. And there comes a moment, a silent and perfect instant, when you no longer need to return because you have not left. There is no longer fragmentation, There is no longer interference, there is no longer forgetting, only being, being coherence, being fullness, being cause. And from that being, life has no choice. It responds in consonance. Opportunities do not evade you. They seek you, they find you. The right people do not ignore you, they recognize you, they feel called by your field. Paths do not close. They open before you like flowers that have always known your name. Not because you learned a secret technique, not because you performed a perfect ritual, but because you remembered who you are. And one who remembers does not ask, does not beg, does not plead. One who remembers emits and receives. That is how the unwritten laws governing everything you see work. That is how the ancient wise ones navigated impossible realities without apparent effort. That is how the silent masters of the world walked among crowds untouched by chaos. It was not magic. It was vibration. It was identity. It was coherence. And now that you are awakening, now that you are remembering, now that you are choosing to return to your center, the same law activates for you. There are no exceptions, no favorites, no punishments, only reflections. From where are you emitting? From where are you walking? From what vibration are you writing each chapter of your life? That is the only question that matters, the only answer you need. And if your vibration is coherent, if your vibration is full, if your vibration is clean, good luck, the kind that seems impossible, the kind that seems magical, will have no choice but to arrive. Arrive silently, arrive constantly, arrive inevitably. Because you will not be seeking it, you will be inhabiting it. The life you see is not a series of chained accidents, not a collection of meaningless coincidences, not a succession of strokes of good or bad luck tossed randomly by an invisible hand. Life is a quantum field sensitive to your vibration, a mirror that does not judge, that does not opine, that does not decide for you. A mirror that simply reflects your internal state, reflects your coherence or your fragmentation, reflects your certainty or your doubt. And you, in every instant, are speaking to that mirror, not with your words, not with your conscious desires, not with your prayers, but with your sustained vibration. Every thought you tolerate in your mind, every emotion you harbor in your chest, every silent gesture of your body, all is vibrational language, all is energetic communication, all is construction or destruction of your field. There is no neutrality, there are no dead moments. Every instant is a sowing, every heartbeat is a choice, every breath is an antenna emitting into the invisible fabric of the universe. And the universe responds, always, without errors, without exceptions. True good luck, the kind that seems magical, miraculous, illegal, is simply the result of sustaining a frequency of coherence so clean, so strong, so unshakable, that matter itself organizes in favor of the one who emits it. Not by favoritism, not by moral reward, not by chance, but by exact vibrational resonance. Just as a tuner achieves harmony in all strings by striking the right note, so your being, when it vibrates from its clean center, makes the entire universe sing in your favor. It is not an effort. It is not a struggle. It is a silent alignment. The human mind, trained in the paradigm of effort, sacrifice, and obsessive control, resists believing it. It wants techniques, it wants formulas, it wants written guarantees. But the vibrational field is not governed by human rules. It does not respond to mental contracts. It does not negotiate with doubts. The field responds to continuous vibrational mission. And the question that matters is not, what am I doing to achieve luck, but what am I emitting right now? Because you do not attract what you want. You do not attract what you desire with force. You do not attract what you visualize 1,000 times. You attract what you vibrate. And vibrating is not a one-time act. It is a sustained state. It is the deep emotional tone you maintain when you are not consciously thinking about your goals. It is the vibrational color of the background of your life. That tone, that color, that silent music is what organizes your luck. Not the rituals, not the desperate prayers, not the mental strategies, only your real frequency. And that frequency can be changed. It can be elevated. It can be remembered. You do not need to be a slave to the vibrational field you inherited. You do not need to repeat the patterns of lack, fear, and fragmentation you were taught. You can choose. You can return. You can remember.